Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging into a topic that's, well, it's genuinely reshaping our world at breakneck speed: artificial intelligence. It's really not just science fiction anymore, is it? I mean, it's right here in our pockets, our homes, our workplaces.
Absolutely. And we've pulled together quite a stack of recent updates, some really groundbreaking innovations, and, some critical discussions happening around AI right now.
Okay.
So our mission for this deep dive, basically cut through all the noise, pull out the really important stuff, and help you, our listener, get a clear handle on what's happening now and, well, where things seem to be heading.
Okay, get ready then, because we're about to unpack how AI is, sometimes quietly, sometimes not so quietly, weaving itself into our daily lives. We'll look at what it means for the developers, for businesses building this stuff, the big ethical questions, the regulations popping up, and, yeah, some truly mind-bending breakthroughs in science and robotics, too.
Sounds good.
So let's kick off with the everyday stuff. AI often feels like this huge abstract thing.
Right.
But what's really interesting is how subtly it's getting into our daily digital lives, making things, I don't know, almost invisibly smoother. Where are you seeing it pop up right now? Maybe in ways we don't even notice.
Oh, it's everywhere. Take WhatsApp, for instance.
Okay.
They're rolling out these AI-driven chat summaries. Basically, they condense those, super long unread message threads into clear bullet points.
Oh, wow.
It's a small thing, maybe, but for busy group chats, it's a huge time saver. And they're really stressing that it preserves user privacy.
That's crucial.
Definitely. Right now, it's starting with English speakers in the U.S., but yeah, global expansion is planned.
I kind of already think of like 5 group chats I need that for. And Amazon, they seem to be leaning hard into generative AI for Prime Video. That's another one of these sort of invisible integrations, right?
Exactly. They're using it for AI-suggested searches, live event recaps, even predictive overlays during sports.
Predictive overlays.
Yeah, like stats popping up predictively. So it's not just about creating content, it's enhancing how you actually watch it.
Makes sense.
And, beyond what the viewer sees, they're also using it behind the scenes, improving video quality, delivering more targeted ads. It serves both the user experience and, well, their business operations.
Right, dual purpose.
Yeah.
Now, for people actually making content, 11 Labs just launched a mobile app, iOS and Android. This brings their pretty advanced AI, text-to-speech, the really realistic custom voices straight to your phone.
Yeah, I saw that.
Seems perfect for making audio content on the fly if you're a creator, educator, business.
Oh.
And speaking of productivity, we're seeing some big money moves, like the Pinterest founder, Evan Sharp, just put $30 million into an AI dictation app.
Wow, $30 million.
What does that signal to you? Where are everyday tools heading?
Well, it's a massive vote of confidence, isn't it? It really signals this push towards AI solutions that just streamline those mundane tasks, like voice to text, but with incredible accuracy and speed. We're talking about tools becoming just integral. How we capture info, how we process it, and then think bigger, like Walmart. They've unveiled new AI tools for their own employees, speeding up shift planning, streamlining task management, even translating communications into 44 languages.
4 languages.
Yeah. This is about efficiency for a truly massive workforce.
That's huge. It's not just saving a few minutes. It's like fundamentally rethinking how big companies operate.
Yeah.
We're seeing similar things in government, too. Right?
Absolutely. There was that study showing Microsoft's AI tools are saving British government workers, an average of 26 minutes a day, just by automating repetitive stuff. So yeah, AI isn't just for the private sector. It's making a real difference in public services.
And it's not just office work either. You mentioned Samsara.
Right. Samsara, they've launched AI systems specifically to detect distracted driving, to prevent crashes.
Wow.
This is tackling critical issues like road fatalities.
Yeah.
And it even helps with the trucker shortage, by improving safety for the drivers they have.
So what's really striking when you look at all these examples, AI isn't just a standalone app anymore. It's becoming this invisible layer inside existing systems.
Oh, exactly.
It's weaving into our personal routines and these huge operational tasks. It's fundamentally changing how we use tech, how big workforces function.
It also makes you wonder about, the future of work itself.
Precisely. And related to that, look at LinkedIn. They just introduced this advanced AI-assisted search for recruiters.
Okay, what does that do?
It lets them use conversational queries, like just asking a question, to find candidates. And it can even help identify those harder to define skills, the soft skills.
Ah, right.
Now, while that sounds super efficient for finding people, it does bring up concerns, like could applicants game the system somehow?
Yeah.
It really shows how recruiters themselves will need to sharpen their evaluation skills in this new AI landscape.
That's a really critical point. And speaking of jobs, there was that study found millennials are actually leading the way in adopting AI at work, which is interesting.
Yeah, you might not expect that. Right. But at the same time, almost 40% of them, 39%, worry about being replaced by automation. It really highlights that tension, doesn't it? Between embracing the cool new tools for productivity and the very real anxiety about job security.
Yeah, that's a balancing act we're going to see a lot more of.
So, moving beyond personal use and workplace efficiency, AI is also fundamentally changing how tech gets built and how businesses operate at a much deeper level.
Yeah.
What are you seeing on the sort of developer and business building side?
Well, Google made a pretty significant move releasing Gemini CLI. That's an open source command line tool.
Okay, CLI.
Command line. Yeah, for developers working in the terminal. It lets them use natural language, just plain English basically, to write code, debug it, automate stuff.
Just talking to the terminal?
Kind of. It makes complex programming faster, more intuitive, and the great thing is it's free for personal use.
That sounds like a huge accessibility win, taking coding closer to just, conversation.
It really is. And building on that, Google also upgraded Colab, their popular platform.
It's now AI first, with Gemini built in. So it streamlines coding for everyone, from beginners to experts, generating code, suggesting fixes, automating tasks. It's making advanced programming help much more widely available.
Okay. And it's not just Google, right?
No, definitely not. Anthropic, they added a no-code feature to Claude, their AI model.
No code.
Yeah, meaning users can create and share interactive AI apps like maybe tutoring tool or simple game just by chatting with the AI.
Seriously, just by chatting.
Yeah. And the usage costs, they're handled by the people using the app. So it really opens up custom AI creation for lots of people, free or paid. Similarly, Airtable is going AI native with something called Omni.
Airtable.
Right.
Yeah.
It's an AI agent that helps users build, edit, automate business apps just through conversation, making app creation faster, more accessible, and they're putting free AI features across all their plans.
That's incredible. Going from needing serious coding skills to just chatting with an AI to build an app, that just lowers the barrier for so many ideas.
It really does.
And for businesses dealing with customers. All right, Salesforce debuted Agentforce 3. It's a platform designed to help companies scale up their AI-driven customer service, give them more visibility, more control, streamlining things, boosting efficiency.
Makes sense.
And for those working more directly with the big AI models, the LLMs, Amazon SageMaker introduced new templates, text ranking, question and answer. They let users refine models using human feedback, which leads to better training.
So fine-tuning the AI.
Exactly. And the models themselves, they're evolving incredibly fast. Google just debuted Gemini 2.5 Pro and 2.5 Flash.
More Geminis.
Yeah, offering better speed, more flexible pricing, specialized options for things that need really fast responses. They're clearly listening to what developers want. Advanced but also affordable AI tools.
And what about specialized fields like law?
Yeah, interesting stuff there too. Harvey AI, that's a legal AI startup. It's backed by OpenAI. Just hit a massive $5 billion valuation, raised $300 million. It's being used by hundreds of legal clients around the world already, streamlining routine legal work, but with a big focus on accuracy and security.
$5 billion. Wow. So if we sort of zoom out here, connect the dots, it feels like these tools aren't just small improvements.
No, not at all.
They're really democratizing access to some seriously powerful creation tools. It means more people, more businesses can use AI without needing like a PhD in computer science.
Right.
And that, in turn, just has to be accelerating innovation everywhere, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's lowering the barrier to entry across the board.
Okay, so we've hit AI in daily life, how it's being built. But, I mean, as it gets everywhere, it's inevitably kicking up some really complex issues. Privacy, intellectual property, even global power shifts. It's definitely not all smooth sailing, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the friction points we're seeing?
Well, a major one that's getting attention is privacy around Google's Gemini AI interacting directly with Android apps.
Oh, yeah. Like which apps?
Like Messages and the phone app, starting next July. And the concern is, even if users opt out, the way it's set up, well, it's led to calls for much better transparency and user control. Some find the opt-out process kind of murky.
Yeah. Integrating AI that deep into personal devices, that's tricky territory.
It really is. And then you have OpenAI, obviously a huge player, facing quite a few legal battles.
Right.
For instance, a U.S. judge told them they have to disclose profit projections they shared with investors like Microsoft. This is part of a copyright case, really digging into whether training AI on news content is fair use.
Fair use, yeah, that's the big question.
And in a different lawsuit, this one by the New York Times, another judge ordered OpenAI to keep all ChatGPT responses, even ones users deleted, for legal review.
Wait, even deleted ones?
Even deleted ones, which understandably has sparked some pretty significant user privacy concerns.
You think? Yeah.
And it's not just software. On the hardware side, you know that AI project they were doing with Joni Ive?
Mm-hmm.
Hit a snag. Legal fight over the name IO. They had to scrub references, and it's delayed the launch until at least 2026. Just shows the kind of unexpected branding and legal hurdles popping up in AI hardware.
So even the giants are hitting turbulence. But interestingly, on the other side of the coin, Anthropic actually won a ruling, didn't they?
They did, yeah. A landmark U.S. court ruling that said their training of AI models on copyrighted content qualifies as fair use.
Okay, so that sets a precedent.
It does, potentially. But, and this is important, authors can still sue over stuff that was pirated before the training, and Anthropic is still barred from storing unauthorized copies. So it's not a total free pass.
Got it. Crucial distinction. But for creators, things seem maybe more precarious. You mentioned issues with protection tools.
Yeah, that's a worrying development. Security researchers found major flaws in tools artists use, like glaze and nightshade. Basically, new AI methods can just bypass them.
Oh, no.
It's raising urgent concerns about artwork being misused, and there are louder calls now for stronger protections for creative workers' rights. It's like a constant cat-and-mouse game.
It sounds incredibly stressful for artists. And beyond the legal stuff, there's research from MIT and Cornell showing that leaning too heavily on tools like ChatGPT can actually lead to, well, blander ideas, less creativity.
Yeah, homogenized ideas and reduced creative engagement is how they put it.
What kind of impact could that have on, like, a originality culture?
That's a really big question. The research suggests that while AI can definitely boost productivity, it might sort of inadvertently stifle the really novel, diverse ideas. We even saw a very public example of this tension, didn't we, with Mr. Beast, the YouTuber.
Oh, right, the thumbnail thing.
Exactly. Backlash for promoting an AI thumbnail generator accused of basically copying other creators' styles without permission. It just reignited that whole debate about AI's role in creative fields and, where the line is for originality.
Fascinating. Okay, shifting gears to the geopolitical scale. National security seems to be a growing factor.
Definitely. There's a bipartisan bill just introduced in the U.S., the No Adversarial AI Act.
Okay, what's the aim?
To stop federal agencies from using AI tools linked to China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea, it really just spotlights that escalating tech rivalry between nations.
Right. And it's not just the U.S. taking action, is it?
No, absolutely not. China, for example, is projected to roll out over 100 new AI tools by 2026. They are clearly intensifying their tech competition with the U.S., aiming to boost their economy and, frankly, their global influence in AI. It's a clear race.
Our race for AI supremacy. Wow. Okay, beyond geopolitics, there's another big factor getting more notice.
Yeah.
The environmental impact.
Yes, the energy consumption. Recent studies are showing these big AI language models can use up to 10 times more energy per query than a standard Google search.
10 times. Wow. What's the concern there?
It's driving real concern over their environmental footprint. You're seeing experts urging AI companies to actually disclose their energy use and recommending that we, as users, maybe simplify our queries or choose smaller models to cut down on emissions. It's a kind of hidden cost that's becoming less hidden.
Something we all need to be more aware of. And lastly, on the sort of societal impact front, there was that interesting case in France about worker rights.
Oh, yeah, the French court ruling. They ordered a company to pause deploying AI tools until it actually consulted with its employee works council.
That feels like a pretty big precedent, doesn't it?
It really does. It's a key moment for how AI gets adopted in workplaces, especially under French law and the broader EU AI Act. It highlights the importance of talking to employees first, potentially giving them a much bigger say in how AI changes their jobs. It really brings up that fundamental question again. As AI touches everything, how do we find that right balance between pushing innovation forward and proactively dealing with the serious challenges it brings up for privacy, for IP, for global stability?
Wow, that is a lot to chew on. But, okay, AI isn't just about apps and regulations and these big societal questions. It's also driving some incredible progress at the absolute cutting edge. Science, robotics, basic infrastructure, things that could really redefine what humanity can do, what's happening out there on the frontiers.
Well, in medicine, for example, Google DeepMind unveiled AlphaGenome.
AlphaGenome.
It's a powerful AI tool, they say, is set to revolutionize DNA analysis, speeding up breakthroughs in understanding genetic diseases, moving towards more personalized medicine.
Revolutionize DNA analysis. That sounds potentially profound.
It really could be. And then there's Panderm. That's an AI trained on over 2 million images.
2 million.
Yeah, and it can identify melanoma and other skin diseases up to 16.5% more accurately than clinicians.
Better than doctors.
And identifying from images, yes, based on this study. Think about the impact that could have on global dermatology, especially in places with fewer specialists. Early, accurate detection is just so key.
Absolutely.
And Dartmouth Health is trialing something called PortalPal, an AI tool to help triage and respond to patient messages in those online hospital portals.
Okay. Dealing with patient messages.
Yeah, the aim is to speed up responses for urgent issues and, importantly, reduce clinician burnout, which is a huge problem.
Using AI to help with doctor burnout. That's amazing. And you mentioned drug discovery earlier.
Right. There's a partnership between Ginkgo Bioworks and Hugging Face. They plan to launch these high-quality AI data sets specifically for drug development, their goal. 1,000-fold increase in data accessibility for researchers.
1,000 times more data. That has to speed things up massively.
That's the idea. And shifting to robotics, Google DeepMind again, with Gemini Robotics On-Device.
On-device.
Meaning the AI runs directly on the robot, doesn't need the cloud. It enables robots to operate offline, handle complex tasks, understand language, all without internet connectivity.
Wow.
It's a huge boost for robot adaptability, autonomy, think manufacturing, exploration, assistance in remote areas.
So the robots can really think and act on their own, untethered. That opens up so many possibilities. What about basic infrastructure like power?
Yeah, there's actually a new U.S. policy memo urging federal investment in AI to strengthen the electric grid, make it more resilient, more efficient.
How critical is AI for something like the power grid?
It could be extremely critical. AI can analyze just vast amounts of data to predict potential failures, optimize how power is distributed, respond to outages way faster. It addresses key vulnerabilities.
Makes sense.
And for the Internet of Things, those connected devices, BrainChip and Hala Technologies unveiled this ultra-low power IoT platform.
Ultra-low power.
Yeah, it uses neuromorphic processors, basically, chips designed to mimic the brain's efficiency, and something called backscatter wireless tech.
Backscatter wireless. What does that actually mean for us?
Okay, so basically it lets devices communicate by reflecting existing radio waves, like Wi-Fi or cellular signals, instead of generating their own. Drastically cuts power needs.
Ah, okay.
The upshot: sensors running for years on a single tiny coin cell battery.
Years on a coin battery.
Yeah, it could completely change medical monitoring, environmental sensing, industrial uses, making long-term continuous monitoring incredibly practical and cheap.
That's astounding. Mind-blowing, really.
Yeah.
And even creative AI is still pushing forward.
Oh, yeah. Google's Imagen 4, it's their latest text-to-image AI model, promises sharper, more accurate images. It's available through their Gemini API and AI Studio. So the visuals just keep getting better.
Constantly improving.
Indeed. And one more really inspiring one: bridging the digital divide. ASU's Next Lab and SolarSpell launched Edge AI.
Edge AI.
It's an offline AI tool. It brings educational resources to potentially 3 billion people who are disconnected from the internet.
Offline.
Through solar-powered Wi-Fi hotspots that contain the resources locally. No internet needed. The aim is to boost learning and equity in underserved communities globally.
That's truly visionary work. Just incredible. What strikes me here is AI isn't just making existing things better, it's actively pushing the frontiers of what we know, what we can access, tackling some of the world's biggest problems, from disease to education to energy.
Yeah, the scope is just immense.
What an incredible deep dive this has been, from, personal apps summarizing your chats to truly groundbreaking AI in DNA research and robotics.
Yeah.
It's so clear AI isn't some distant future concept. It's here. It's integral. And it's evolving incredibly fast.
Absolutely. We've touched on the huge potential,
Sure.
right? Efficiency, accessibility, scientific leaps, but also those really critical challenges: privacy, IP, the nature of creativity, the future of work.
Hmm.
It's a complex picture.
This deep dive really just underscores the sheer speed and, well, the breadth of AI's integration into really every single aspect of our lives.
It really does. And considering this unprecedented pace of AI's evolution, it makes you wonder what new forms of human AI collaboration might emerge that we can't even imagine yet, and how might that fundamentally reshape our individual and collective potential?